Hey everyone, welcome to Infinite Realms. Today, another tale from the Longbox. Now, a lot of times, I try my best not to come off as an old curmudgeon. Who's like, oh, the old days was the best. And, but then again, sometimes, I see stuff and it's like, wow, what is going on with this? But, hopefully, this one will dispel some of that. Uncanny Avengers, number 8. Now, Uncanny Avengers is a series I know about, but I have never actually looked at before until this very issue. And, well, the first thing I said, oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, we have a reason. We've got all kinds of good reasons to complain about that. I'll say that much. But anyway, the art is pretty decent in here. I mean, it's not, background's looking good, and the characters look good. I mean, it's obviously Rogue, even though they're calling her Claire. What's going on here? So, eventually, look, she cuts her sandwiches and X's. And she gets a phone call, and then we get a flashback to Professor X. Now, it's a kind of long-winded flashback, but at essence of it is Professor X is teaching Rogue how to recognize when she's being attacked psychically and what are illusions in the mind. Pretty smart flashback, and then suddenly, boom! Rogue remembers some stuff. So then she goes off, and I'm kind of oversimplifying this because I'm trying. If I don't oversimplify this, it's going to be a long video. She goes around finding the other Uncanny Avengers, and Kamala Khan's in there. Kind of good to see Kamala Khan, before everybody went all nuts. Oh no, she died. I mean, I still like Kamala Khan. I'm sorry. I don't know. I just thought she was an interesting character. And eventually she finds, there's Wade. Yeah, he's ugly again. Oh, darn. And there she finds Tony Stark. Oops. And pretty much everybody in the Avengers. I mean, it's a little repetitive, but it's not bad, is what I'm trying to say. What I'm getting at is this is actually a decent comic. I really liked it. It was a fun read, and, obviously it's to be continued. Now, again, larger story, but this is what I think, part of a story should be, is that it engages you, and then you like, oh, I want to find more. Civil War II. We'll not talk about that, but, Standoff, Assault on Pleasant Hill, all new, all different Avengers. If I'm reading this correctly, that's the next part, yet to be continued, all new, all different Avengers. So, yeah, I'm going to try to track down this storyline because I've never heard of it before, and now I'm interested. I was like, hey, that was kind of cool, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed it a great deal, even though I knew nothing about it. It was easy to pick up on, and this is what I think a prime example of something in modern comics that did what I've been complaining about in modern comics. It's like, yeah, there's a larger story involved, but this grabs your attention and keeps it. Whereas, most of the time it's like, well, you don't know what's going on. Too bad for you. And I didn't even read this at all. I mean, I just really skipped this and just jumped right in. And I thought, okay, I'll read that if I get lost. And I wasn't lost for a second. I mean, I knew exactly what was happening. So it was very well written. It didn't need that previous explanation at all for me to catch on to what was happening. And that's what impressed me about it. It was very well written. You got enough information to work with and to see what was happening, and it unfolded quite well. I really was amazed that this comic was this good, and really wish I had read a little bit more of this in the past now. You know, I try not to sound like an old man saying, oh, the past was great, but, you know, the Shang-Chi and the Hellcat comparison that ended up happening, I probably did sound like an old man. Like, my God, in my day, we used to have words on the page, and art looked like people. And this art is serviceable. I mean, I think it's pretty good. To me, you know, one of the things I always pay attention to is backgrounds. And, you know, the backgrounds are pretty good on these. John Byrne taught me that one. Not John Byrne taught me that. I learned it reading through John Byrne art. And, you know, again, pretty good. It's not the under-detailed art I see a lot in modern comics. This is like, just, it's got the detail you need. And it looks normal. And, yeah, it works really perfectly. And, you know, I mean, again, a good, solid comic book that stands on its own in an outline of a larger story. So I like it. I do like it. Got me interested in Uncanny Avengers too, which is like, wow, I've never read that series, but now I'm wanting to read more. This accomplished what I think a standalone comic should do. You pick up one issue. You know, every once in a while, no matter how good you are, you're going to run into, you need to read the previous story first. But most of the time, you should be able to grasp it right off the rack. And I think that's something that has been lost in modern times. And I was really glad to see a modern comic that had it still. So Uncanny Avengers, I'll give it a 9 out of 10, 4 stars, 4.5 stars. Really good comic, really solid comic. I don't know what happens next. There might be something that derails that whole idea. It's possible. I'll let you know in some other installment of Tales of the Longbox when I get the next part of this storyline and the rest of this storyline. So, for now, that's going to wrap it up for Infinite Realms. Don't forget to like and subscribe.